What's up everybody, my name is Vincent. Welcome to Cryptolution, where we talk about everything under the moon in the crypto universe. Today is Wednesday, April 23rd. Now in today's video, we have to talk about Dog Bitcoin. It is pumping, and it is pumping in the double digits. I want to share with you some recent news that's in the charting and analysis, but also potentially that Bybit, an exchange that is also the number 2 exchange in the world, could potentially be hinting at a spot listing. But I also want to share with you the performance of all these other cryptocurrencies and also Bitcoin as well, because the global M2 money supply is looking very promising. It's looking like Bitcoin is going to follow that exact same trend. And with that, we're going to see that altcoins and especially Dog Bitcoin hit into the 3 digits. Now let's get right into it. I don't want to waste any time because there's something very important at the very end of the video, which is in the charting analysis that we have totally met our goal. So smash that like button, subscribe to the channel. Don't forget to join our X platform. And please be careful with any of the scammers down in the comments below. I will never reach out via WhatsApp, Telegram, direct messaging, or email. So please be careful and invest safely. Guys and girls, let's get right into it. So yesterday, the market cap of Dog was roughly around 150 million market cap. It went as high as 180 million market cap. It's absolutely kind of crazy. So it actually pumped over 20% just over the past 24 hours. Now, the reason for this could be because Bitcoin is pumping, but hear me out. When you look at Bitcoin, it's still hovering around 93,000. It was the exact same price as of yesterday. Now, when we go back to Dog Bitcoin, let's look at Dog compared to Bitcoin. Now, as you can see, yesterday, we saw that Dog was actually underperforming against Bitcoin's price. Then out of nowhere, Dog Bitcoin decided to pump 15%, while Bitcoin was only up roughly 3%. Now, let's look over the past 7 days. It looks like Dog is outperforming Bitcoin as of right now. But again, as much as this feels very promising and euphoric and very absolutely feel good, you need to ground yourself, because if you feel completely euphoric, your emotions are going on overdrive. So ground yourself and understand that the fundamentals have still not changed. But I want to talk about Bitcoin first in the cryptocurrency market. This includes meme coins, altcoins, and especially Bitcoin. So we just saw, as of today, there's roughly around $700 million in Bitcoin ETF inflows. And that's regards to ARK Invest, Fidelity, and BlackRock buying. That doesn't mean that it's just these 3 hedge funds. There's many more hedge funds and also companies. You already know that people are funneling into buying as much of Bitcoin as possible because there's only a limited supply. But here's something I want to share with you, which is the Fear and Greed Index. Remember yesterday I brought up that Bitcoin's Fear and Greed Index was at around 43 to 47, which was about the neutral zone. It jumped up to 72, which is in the greed zone. Now, I want you to take a pause here, because usually when we're in the greed zone or the extreme greed zone, I tend to be a little panicky, meaning I'm a little cautious of what's actually about to happen. Because when there's greed at a price around 93,000, how far will Bitcoin's price even go? Usually when I see it at 72, usually Bitcoin kind of holds around this range between 93 to even around 100,000. I would love to have seen Bitcoin roughly in the middle at around 50 or below at a 93,000 price point. That way it leaves some more room for Bitcoin to surpass 100,000, and then we can hit 72, which would be greed. And then when we hit extreme greed, I'm hoping that would have been around $130,000 per Bitcoin. Now let's look at the meme coin market. It is up. It's all in the green. And I noticed that Bitcoin stayed around 93,000 while the altcoin and meme coin market actually started to continue to pump. When we scroll down, let's look at where Dog Bitcoin is ranked. It's now at rank 236. Now yesterday, this was roughly around 250 ranking. So this is actually doing quite well. It's actually performing the way that we want it to. And it's performing just as well as Solana and Ethereum meme coins. And you cannot forget, Dog Bitcoin is on a Runes protocol. It is completely new niche market. It's an emerging market. The fact that it has pumped this much is actually quite outstanding in my perspective. And I'll share with you at the end of the video why we potentially are seeing a pump of Dog as of right now. Now let's talk about the top meme coins by market cap. Now notice that it's at $58 billion. Not too long ago, it was at $50 billion. Dog themed meme coins are roughly at 13% increase. That includes Dog Bitcoin. When we scroll down, look at where the market cap is of all these meme coins. It's still below the threshold that we want. Remember, all the meme coins used to be at around $100 billion, and that was back in December. So right now, if you're looking at this, we do actually have a lot more upside. So if the meme coin market cap is going to return to its $100 billion market cap, we need to see Bitcoin back at $100,000 per Bitcoin. And that means that dog Bitcoin will most likely reach above 300 million market cap. Now, in terms of the altcoin season index, right now, we're seeing that Bitcoin is actually receiving more dominance. The dominance is actually coming back to Bitcoin, which is kind of strange because yesterday we saw that this ranking was at 22, which was leaning more towards the altcoin season. But it's saying that 16 leaning more into the Bitcoin season. Yet Bitcoin is stagnant right now at 93,000 and altcoins and meme coins are double pumping in the double digits. Well, Bitcoin is still following the global M2 money supply. As you can see here, it still has a lot of leeway for Bitcoin to reach around $140,000 by the end of July, early August of this year. Now let's focus on another thing. This was based on Colin Talks Crypto. Now he's changed his offset. It's roughly ranged from around 84 days to 81 days to 78 days. Regardless of how this is shifted, it doesn't matter if this is offsetted by whatever amount of days. No matter what, it's still following the trend of gold. Gold is also following the same trend as global M2 money supply. So Bitcoin is following gold and global M2 money supply. So eventually, by August, you may see Bitcoin reach around $160,000, maybe at top. We haven't seen how far global M2 money supply is, but global M2 money supply keeps going up. Now let's talk about the runes ecosystem. Now Bybit, who is focused on building the odin.fun runes platform, it's built on a layer 2 platform using the Blyph protocol and using also ICP. Now, what he's noted yesterday is that the external runes, aka OG runes, you must be wondering what that is. OG runes and external runes are basically runes on layer 1. That's dog, pups, gizmo, billion dollar cat, all those other things. The runes that are on this layer 2 is different. So he said that soon the withdrawals, deposits, trading, and liquidity, it's undergoing final testing this week. I don't have a release date yet, but it's closer than it has ever been. Very excited to push this out for all of you. Now keep in mind, he's been talking about integrating OG runes, external runes for months now. And he does say this over and over that it's coming next week, a few days, and it's going to come out at some certain point or another. But you have to keep in mind, it just takes time. Hopefully this happens by the end of the month or at least beginning of next month. And I hope to see that dog will be available there because we do know that the Asian audience is very much into the platform. Now let's talk about Bybit. Now Bybit, if you didn't know, back on June 4th last year, 2024, they were one of the very first exchanges to announce perpetual trading for the dog Bitcoin token, and that's paired with USDT Tether. Now that was almost close to a year ago because today is April 23rd. But also remember back on January 26th, we had Ben, who is the founder and CEO of Bybit. Notice that the dog community and the dog token had higher new user rationale, and he was comparing the engagement of the dog army compared to the Trump token or the NOT token. So he's very much aware of dog. And if you didn't know, this was back in January 26th of 2025. So this is fairly recently. But out of nowhere, we had this recent announcement yesterday that Bybit was going to announce a position airdrop, or aka for their own perpetual trading platform, but for leverage traders using their platform. And this is the website right here. So as you notice, it ends in 68 days. So you can register yourself. And by that time, if you're lucky enough, you can win some money if you're able to claim this, if you're able to be selected for this winning. Now, Cash Lab, by the way, shout out to this person. Cash Lab actually has a YouTube channel as well, and is also very bullish on dog. He was one of the very first people to notice this announcement. And when he ended up trying to sign up for it, it had a referral code called Dog Go to the Moon. Now you must be wondering, is this any potential for dog to be listed for spot trading? Well, if you go into Google, and I asked Google, what is Bybit's position airdrop? And it basically said that the position airdrop is a promotional giveaway where Bybit users can earn free cryptocurrencies or tokens by participating in the specific trading activities or by accumulating a certain amount of trading volume. So over here, if you notice how it works, it says Bybit may offer airdrops for specific events such as a new token launch, a trading competition, or to increase overall platform activity. Now, the most important thing is a new token launched. So could this be hinting at DOG moving from DOG perpetual trading to DOG spot trading? I mean, my personal opinion, it completely makes sense for them to launch it for spot trading. They wanted to see DOG perform over a year, meaning, is DOG still going to be relevant? Is DOG still going to be talked about? Is DOG still going to be traded? And as you can tell, the community of DOG and runes, by that matter, is still around a year later, and there is still more trading volume. If you don't know, DOG has done over $8.7 billion of trading volume since April 24th of 2024. Over $8.7 billion just in trading volume alone. Just imagine when Tier 1 centralized exchange listings list DOG for spot trading. So Bybit is most likely going to look at that and say, you know what? I think it's time to list it for spot trading. And as you all know, usually before spot trading happens, there's usually perpetual trading that happens right before then. Now, when I go over to Bybit, you can see that DOG is right now available just for it to be looked at. It's not available for spot trading. Even when I go down here and I click on trade on our spot market, when I click on this, it actually doesn't take me to DOG. It takes me to some other scam token called DOGS, D-O-G-S. That's some ton token or whatever on the ton network. I'm totally not into that. But this is right now live. And so sooner or later, because it's updated with the website and Community X platform, I definitely think that sooner or later, I think Bybit out of nowhere could be one of the very first exchanges before maybe even OKX or even Kraken to list DOG for spot trading. But nonetheless, whatever happens with centralized exchanges, it does not matter. DOG is going to perform well on decentralized exchanges and mobile apps. So yesterday, I noticed that one of the top wallets that is only 62 days old, over the past 4 days, accumulated over 21 million tokens. They own roughly now a total of 60 million tokens. At the time of this recording, it's around 93,000 US dollars. It's probably much higher and they probably accumulated more. And this token has not sold or transferred any of its funds. It is accumulating. Now, why are the reasons why DOG is pumping all of a sudden? Well, KT, aka Killer Tickers, is suspicious that the whales that are manipulating the floor and pushing the price down of DOG, maybe using Gate.io to suppress the price by having a huge sell wall, is removing their sell walls and actually buying back in. But here's another thing that I want to mention is that there is probably a short squeeze liquidation. So what does that mean? So on perpetual trading, you do know that DOG paired to USDT is available on OKX perpetual trading. Now look at this in terms of short liquidations. There has been over $25,000 worth of shorts liquidated on OKX. That means people who wanted the DOG price to go lower and were predicting the price to go lower. Well, guess what? Because the price of DOG Bitcoin went higher, they ended up getting liquidated, which is the largest liquidation across all these different perpetual trading platforms such as Bybit and Gate.io. So that also probably sent the price of DOG going up. And right now the DOG sats price is around 1.87. Remember, we need to price DOG in sats, not US dollars, because DOG is built on Bitcoin. That's why it's priced in sats. So if you look at the overall price in sats, we have a lot more leeway to go up. In fact, the all-time high in terms of sats was around 12.98 when DOG Bitcoin reached around a 950 million market cap. Then in December, we had a sats price around 9.49. That is when DOG reached around a 999 million market cap, just 1 million shy of $1 billion. Now, when you're looking at the price of DOG at 1.88 sats, this is an absolutely deep, cheap price deal. This is all leading towards something, ladies and gentlemen. Eventually, one of these exchanges eventually is going to list DOG Bitcoin. It does not matter which one it's going to be. If it's going to be Binance, Bybit, Coinbase, OKX, HTX, Crypto.com, KuCoin, or even Kraken for the matter. It does not matter which exchange. It's going to be another catalyst event. It's not going to be the catalyst event. It's going to be another catalyst event. So I want to bring up something again. DOG Bitcoin has not experienced its parabola or aka parabolic move to the upside, has not seen a God candle. Now, if you compare DOG to other top blue chip DOG meme coins, look at Dogecoin. Dogecoin had a 200,000% pump compared to Bitcoin's price in its first parabolic move. Bonk saw a 35,000% pump. Floki saw a 7,000% pump. Dog Whiff Hat experienced a 3 million% pump. And then we also have Shiba Inu experienced a 6.7 million% pump. Now look at DOG. DOG has not seen its pump yet, period. When you're looking at all these specific tokens, This is not going to just experience a 488% pump. That's only in the short term to reach $1 billion. It's going to go much higher than that in this next bull run. So when you're looking at the price of DOG right now in terms of charting analysis, yeah, you're in the cheap zone. And here's the breaking news, ladies and gentlemen. Right now, DOG Bitcoin has broken past the 50-day moving average. Now, will it stay above that? We will see. We don't exactly know. It needs to stay above that for the next few days to confirm that DOG Bitcoin is starting its next bullish momentum to the upside, which is to flip to the upside for that bull run. Now look at the MACD, as I mentioned before over and over. The trend line for this blue and orange line is flipping bullish. It's sooner or later going to cross this resistance purple line and then flip into the buyer's market. And we saw, as I mentioned before, what happened before. We were down here and we were inching closer and closer to the upside. And then when it finally broke out, we saw that DOG Bitcoin was also flipping bullish and reaching higher and higher, close to $1 billion. You're going to see the exact same thing if Bitcoin continues its bullish momentum. We don't know if there are any black swan events coming up. We don't know what's going to happen politically or globally with global climate events. Again, this is only if things stay at the pace that they are right now. We do need to see that right now this is the best price to buy DOG. You're buying in the max pain zone. That's what these whales are doing. They're trying to manipulate the price, shake you out of your bags, and they did exactly that. So a lot of people ended up getting liquidated and selling their positions, and now they can't buy back in because now they're buying at a higher price point of where they exited. And it's going to keep going. Even between right now 170 million to 380 million, that's still a great buy zone. But most of you will be scared to buy in. And you will most likely stand on the sidelines and watch this thing pump because you're not sure what's going to happen. And that's what the whales want to do, is make you fearful of buying back in so that you can end up buying back in way above 380 million and then your exit liquidity. Remember, $1 billion is not that much. It's only 488%. $2 billion is not that much. Now, if you focus on what's the real goal, is $5 billion in terms of the minimum that I think that this is going to run in this bull cycle. So with that said, let me know your thoughts down below, your theories on how far the price of DOG will go. So everything in a nutshell, this is just my point of view of where DOG Bitcoin's price will go. Everything that I've shared with you regarding Bybit in terms of a speculation of a spot announcement coming and also whale manipulation, but also the trajectory of altcoins and meme coins could go if Bitcoin continues this trend. This is just everything in a nutshell, but this changes on a day-to-day basis. But if you want to stay up to date, please, by supporting this channel, you need to smash up that like button, subscribe to the channel. Don't forget to join our X platform to receive all of our alpha calls and trades regarding DOG on the Moon. Till then, see you guys girls next time.